Hey guys, it's Tyler and Ben. Today we're just going to be giving you guys kind of 5 tips on getting into your program of choice, and Ben will be talking about more of like a generalized how to get into your programs if you're not doing nursing, and then I'll give you guys just a few extra tips for if you're wanting to do a nursing program. And we're just going to kind of tell you guys about how we got into nursing and what we're kind of going to specialize in, or what the plan is too anyways. So I got into nursing when I was in high school, and my teacher, I was talking to her about like what I wanted to do when I got older, and originally it was going to be IT, but she kind of had me convinced that it was going to be hard for me to sit behind a desk because I'm just a really outgoing and driven person. And so she kind of got me into the healthcare field, and within that she said that nursing would be a good one because I'm really I'm always moving with nursing. You're just so many options with it and stuff. And then with my specialized field in nursing, I've kind of wanted to go into pediatrics because I work with kids right now, kind of just babysitting a bunch of kids and an after-school counselor. So I've just wanted to direct myself towards peds. And then now we're gonna have Ben tell us about how he got into nursing.
Yeah, I got into nursing because I was looking for some job security. I worked at other jobs, and that was one thing that I felt like a lot of the jobs that I worked at lacked was knowing that you had something to do the very next day. You didn't have to worry about if there were going to be layoffs and things like that. Especially working, I worked in the oil field for a little bit, and that kind of went downhill. And one day it's what we call like feast or famine. One day you got a job and you got all kinds of stuff to do, and then next thing you know, they're looking at layoffs and cutbacks and things like that. So I needed to get out of that profession, and so that's why nursing's so good, is because there's such a need for them, and there's a shortage across the entire U.S. And so that's why I got into nursing, was I figured that this would be a door for me to get in where I can help people and I can give back to my community, but at the same time I got a family to take care of, and this will allow me to do that. And my goal is to get into maybe working in either the ER or ICU, helping critical care patients in the ICU. I think that's something that I would really be interested in, because helping with people that really have a lot of issues, and you're always having to critically think, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's a very challenging environment, and that's something I feel like I thrive in, and that's something I'm looking forward to. What me and Tyler want to talk to you guys about also is we want to give you all a few tips for people that are about to start college, and either you are planning on going into healthcare or you haven't really decided what you want to go into yet. Some tips to get in these special programs that you really need to focus on too, because a lot of people that go to college, they're not really sure what they want to do. They just get out of high school most times and they go straight into college, and then I think it's like something like 60% within the first year they won't come back for their second year. They'll drop out, and a lot of times is they are throwing away a pretty big opportunity, especially from my experience. I know that a college degree can determine being able to set up a good future for yourself and for your family, and get into a job field that is secure and stable and provides a good income. So for me, the top tips that I could leave you with is, one, you need to focus on grades. It doesn't matter if it's an English class or a humanities class or your basic math class. You want to focus on trying to get an A and B in every class that you take in college. You need to focus on trying to study. A lot of people, that go into college, are really young, so all they're looking forward to is the partying and the hanging out with friends and stuff like that. But it's going to take a little bit of maturity to separate that, because you got to start thinking about your future in the long term aspect of it. And every grade counts, every class counts. Those, when they're on your transcripts, they don't go away. They follow you everywhere you go, so you can't change them. So if you get an F or a D, or if you get forced to withdraw academic, if you get an academic withdrawal or something like that on your transcripts, then that looks really bad, especially when you're trying to get into these very selective programs that require a pretty high GPA or pretty good grades, because somebody that came that around the corner that really took the time to study and really did well in their classes, well, guess what? That's the guy or girl that they're going to go with, as far as getting into the program, versus the guy that or girl that got into college and wasn't really sure when they first got in there, probably, messed around a little bit, got a C or D or something like that. And then, but hey, guess what? They turn it around later on. Well, guess what? That's still on your record. You still have that one grade on your transcript. Even though you turn it around and you start making all these A's and B's, you still have those C's and D's on your transcript. So really take that serious. Number 2, any program that you're looking at, you want to always look at the, like your prereq classes, your pre-admittance classes. You want to see what classes you need to take and make sure that you're fulfilling your state requirement classes to graduate, but you're also fulfilling these prereq classes at the same time. Because, it would really be bad if you just get in there and you just start taking a bunch of classes because you feel like you need them, but you have no real clue because you haven't looked. And then you come to find out, well, guess what? You didn't need like 3 or 4 classes you've taken. So now you're having to do a whole nother semester or 2 to fix that problem. So that's very important to always check those classes. And to help you with that, I would strongly advise sitting down with an advisor and telling them what your plans are and having them go through the prereq classes with you. They can look up the programs and everything and go through the prereqs with you. And they can also look up and tell you what the GPA requirement for that specialty is too. And you need to, just because it says you need say for instance a 3.0 to get in, well then you need to aim for like a 3.5 or better. Because just because the minimum's a 3.0 to be able to apply doesn't, you got to think in competitive terms. So if you got to think if it says 3.0, then that means I need a 3.5 or better. And the reason why that is because you got to think of it as a competition. If you've got so many people that are applying and you got all these people with 3.5s or better applying, well, guess what? They're going to go with those guys first before they go with you if you have a 3.0. So 3.0 will just get you at the very bottom of the list. And those are 3 top things I can think of that you really need to focus on. And this is in general, this is not just for healthcare. This is for, everything in college. And Tyler is going to talk to you about 2 things that you need to really focus on if you're looking at going into healthcare, especially nursing. If you're looking at going into nursing, he's got 3 things or 2 things to help you out with that.
Yeah, so one of the main things with nursing that's separate from most programs that you need to focus on is the HESI. And this is just kind of a standardized test similar to the SAT or ACT that you took in high school. But it does focus a little bit more on the medical side of it. And it's not too hard of a test, but you do want to make sure that you prepare well for it when it comes to getting into these nursing programs, because you only get 2 chances to take this test, and it's a big influence on whether you get into the nursing program or not. Usually most programs go off a point system, and they give you a certain amount of points for what grades you're getting. So if you're getting A's, you'll get a certain amount of points, and the HESI is about, I'd say, anywhere between 60 and 70% of those points in that point system for getting into the nursing program. So you want to make sure that you focus a lot on that. And they have plenty of books. There's plenty of online sites for free that you can practice the HESI. And another thing that I would advise for taking before the HESI is a medical terminology class. That's not typically a requirement for nursing to get into those programs, but it is a good elective to have. throughout college, because it'll prepare you really well for the HESI as well for the nursing classes that you'll probably be taking like themselves. And another thing is you want to speak with like a specialized advisor before you go like to get ready to take your classes, because most of the advisors that like just your general advisors in college, they're gonna steer you a certain way, but they're not gonna help you as much to getting into classes that'll set you up better for nursing.
Yeah, I got one thing to add to it. Like for nursing schools, most times, like for nursing school, they'll have an actual healthcare advisor for the nursing school or the College of Nursing. So that's the person, if that's where you're trying to go, that's the person you want to talk to get the specific requirements, what you need to do, what would make you competitive, because they have all that information. Even if they can tell you, even if you by looking at your transcripts, how competitive you are to the average applicant that they're getting. So I think that's really beneficial, because that can help you to see if it's even worth your time to even trying to get in that college. And that's what I did before I started applying. I went and talked to them and had them look through my transcripts and everything, and asked them, am I competitive enough to get into this program? So that way I'm not wasting my time trying to get in the program. And I'm not saying it's a waste of time to try. I mean, always apply if it's really something you feel strongly about, because who knows, you could probably get in. But for me, that's not an option. I needed to get into something right away, so I wanted to make sure I was focusing my time on where I could get in. So talking to that nursing healthcare advisor is very, very important.
Yep. But yeah, so those are some of the 5 tips that we highly recommend for getting into these programs. And just good luck to you guys for whoever's doing that. If you guys have any friends that are just getting out of high school, or anybody that you see is having some trouble getting into their programs, send them this video, send them the link. Y'all like it, subscribe to it, try to help us get a little bit bigger, because we're trying to reach out to some of these high schoolers coming out of high school, or some people just getting into college, and helping them out, just trying to give them the steps to become better in school. And then obviously we relate to all nurses getting out there. We know how tough it is getting into these programs, so we want to help you guys get into the programs too. So like I said, y'all just like, subscribe. Thanks for sticking out this longer video with us, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, stay buff.